Hello, hello, hello. Or as David Frost once said, hello, good evening and welcome. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Here are the results of the UK jury. Iceland, nil point. How are you? Welcome to Saturday. This is the first day of the rest of your life, of course. Every day is. And how are you? We have now ceased training until after Christmas. So what are you up to over the next week? Yeah. I'm saying that because I've just had an incredibly lazy morning. I have really pottered, I've faffed, I've done nothing constructive. Essentially I've just wasted a whole morning. But anyway, this afternoon I've got to go and look at somebody's wardrobe. Just needs a little repair, I think. And then I will be seeing the Moo, who unbelievably is going to stay over with me tonight, so we shall get up to some mischief, I've no doubt. And yeah, that's really my day in a nutshell. So today, the tradition that we're going to discuss is something that a lot of us do every year, actually. It's the history of Christmas cards. So I am going to head over to the major library that is currently my laptop until I've set up my main PC. And I'm going to narrate the history of Christmas cards, which actually goes back further than I thought. So there we go. I will spare you you having to watch me walk over there today, because yesterday that'll be 5 seconds of your life that you'll never get back, as indeed will the 5 seconds of your life that it's just taken me to tell you that. So I shall see you in a minute. Hello again. 'Tis I, Leclerc. I forgot to say, actually, Jason reminded me after the vlog last night. You're absolutely right, Jason. I did mean to say about it, and I completely forgot about yesterday. We were talking about stockings, talking about putting coal in there, particularly if you were a naughty child. I did forget that. Yes, that is a thing, and although it doesn't happen very often, because most children do still get their stuff at Christmas. Of course they do, especially if they've been good. And these days, actually, the coal is probably worth more than most of the presents that are in there anyway. But anywho, enough. So, history of Christmas cards. And today's website is called whychristmas.com, which is a very good reference, actually, if you ever need to. And it says, people have been sending Christmas greetings to each other for hundreds of years. The first recorded use of Merry Christmas was in a Christmas letter sent in 1534. That is before my time. Just. The first known item that looked a bit like a Christmas card was given to King James I of England, who was also King James VI of Scotland in 1611. This was more like a large ornamental manuscript rather than a card as we think of them today. It was 84 centimetres by 60 centimetres, which is 33 inches by 24 in old money, and was folded into panels. It might have been folded so that it could be carried around. It had a picture of a rose in the centre, and a Christmas and New Year message to the king and his son was written into it and around the rose. Also on the manuscript were 4 poems and a song, so rather more than are on cards today, which is true. The cards are a lot smaller, aren't they? The custom of sending Christmas cards, as we know them today, was started in the UK in 1843 by Sir Henry Cole. He was a senior civil servant, a government worker, who had helped set up the new Public Record Office, which is now called the Post Office, where he was an assistant keeper, and wondered how it could be used more by ordinary people. Sir Henry had the idea of Christmas cards with his friend John Horsley, who didn't own a horse, who was an artist. There you go, should have called him John Paintbrush or something then, shouldn't they? They designed the first card and sold them for 1 shilling each. Which I saw that, and that's an extraordinary amount of money for those days. A shilling is 5p in today's money. Oh, it's 5p in today's money. But in those days, it was worth much, much more. You're not kidding me. That was a lot of money. The card had 3 panels. The outer 2 panels showed people caring for the poor. And in the centre panel was a family having a large Christmas dinner. Some people didn't like the card because it showed a child being given a glass of wine. Oh, the good old days. About 1,000 or thereabouts were printed and sold. They are now very rare and cost thousands of pounds. The original cards were advertised with the slogan, "Just published, a Christmas congratulations card," or picture emblematic of old English festivity to perpetuate kind recollections between dear friends. I will start that again because frankly I've just made a pig's arse of that, and excuse my language. I'll give myself a sin bin in a minute. I might actually have my sin bin while I'm having my cup of tea. So the original cards were advertised with the slogan, "Just published, a Christmas congratulations card," or picture emblematic of old English festivity to perpetuate kind recollections between dear old friends. So as you can see, that is a really punchy strapline, isn't it? The first postal service that ordinary people could use was started in 1840, when the first penny post, public postal deliveries began. Sir Henry Cole helped to introduce the penny post as well. Before that, only very rich people could afford to send anything in the post. The new post office was able to offer a penny stamp because new railways were being built. These could carry much more post than the horse and carriage that had been used before. Also, trains could go a lot faster. Cards became even more popular in the UK when they could be posted in an unsealed envelope for 1/2 penny, or halfpenny as we used to call them, half the price of an ordinary letter. As printing methods improved, Christmas cards became much more popular and were produced in large numbers from about 1860 to 1870. The cost of sending a postcard, and also Christmas cards, dropped to a halfpenny. This meant even more people were able to send cards. That was in 1870 that they dropped. So the first ones were in 1860, but the price wasn't halved until 10 years later. An engraved card by the artist William Egley, who illustrated some of Charles Dickens' books, is on display in the British Museum. By the early 1900s, the custom had spread over Europe and had become especially popular in Germany. I always think Germany is very Christmassy anyway. It's not just because of the Christmas markets, but I do think that Germany, whenever I think of Germany around Christmas time, I do think they're exceptionally, perhaps it's just perception, but anyway. The first known personalised Christmas card was sent in 1891 by Annie Oakley, the famous sharpshooter and star of Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. She was in Glasgow, Scotland, at Christmas 1891 and sent cards back to her friends and family in the USA, featuring a poster of her on it. I didn't know this actually. Sorry, a photo of her on it. As she was in Scotland, she's wearing tartan in the photo. Annie reportedly designed the cards herself and they were printed by a local printer. In the 1910s and 1920s, homemade cards became popular. They were often unusual shapes and had things such as foil and ribbon on them. These were usually too delicate to send through the post and were given by hand. Nowadays, cards have all sorts of pictures on them. Jokes, winter pictures, Santa Claus, or romantic scenes of life in past times. Charities often sell their own Christmas cards as a way of raising money at Christmas. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? A lot of Christmas cards bizarrely have Victorian scenes on, which actually I love because I love the Victorian era. But yeah, it's strange how we have the Victorian era, but not necessarily the Georgian or the Elizabethan. Yeah, anyway, but there you go. Charities also make money from seals or stickers used to seal the card envelopes. This custom started in Denmark in the early 1900s by a postal worker who thought it would be a good way for for charities to raise money, as well as making the cards more decorative. It was a great success. Over 4 million was sold in the first year. That is a lot, actually. Soon, Sweden and Norway adopted the custom, and then it spread all over Europe and eventually to America. So there you go. There's a little bit of history of the Christmas card. I certainly didn't know the bit about Annie Oakley, actually. That's really interesting. So yeah, so now you know why we send cards. Stay tuned tomorrow for some more exciting traditions. I might be able to get my words around the correct way tomorrow. I even struggled just saying that. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. I fear for Lily Moo tonight, but there you go. Anyhow, it's time for me to organise the show stations.